Yesterday I built myself a personal coach using AI and it's been kicking my ass for the last 24 hours. So I thought I'd show you exactly how I did it in case you wanted to build one for yourself. Now, obviously this isn't a trained therapist, so there are going to be limitations, but nevertheless it's pretty good. So I'm just going to show you exactly how I set it up and the steps that I took. Now I'm going to be using Claude. There's a couple of reasons why I'm using Claude. Firstly, it's a really good model, but secondly, it has this project functionality. And the project functionality is really important, as we'll see, because you need your therapist or your coach to actually have memory. Otherwise, you end up having the same conversations over and over again. So inside Claude, you start by creating a project. Now you need a paid account to do this, but it's well worth it. So you first give your project a name. So I'm just going to call it Personal Coach. You then need to give a bit of a statement about what you want this thing to achieve. You don't need to give loads of detail here. So you're going to be my personal coach, helping me build the business via acquisitions, and then I'm going to click Create Project. So this is my personal coach project. Now it's empty at the moment, but the reason I'm using projects is because you can build project knowledge. So this is like data or information that each of your individual chats can reference. And this is really important for the personal coach thing, because you don't want to have to start your coaching conversations from scratch each time. You want each conversation to build on the previous conversations that you've had. You can also set custom instructions. So this might be things like tone of voice or how you want this thing to work, but I didn't bother with any of that. Now, the first thing I wanted to do was every time you start a coaching relationship, there's a period of calibration, right? Where you're getting to know the coach and the coach is getting to know you. Actually, mostly the coach is getting to know you. So it needs to know your history, your situation, your goals, your dreams, how you like to work, how you like to operate. So the first thing I did was start a new chat and then basically begin this period of calibration. Now I gave it a prompt along the lines of this: you're going to be my personal coach. I'd like to start off by going through a calibration process where you get to know me. Please suggest a framework that you can use to do this, which covers my personal and professional background, goals, values, aspirations, and life situation. It then gave me a bunch of questions that I could answer. I was actually using the Claude mobile app because you've got this amazing dictation feature which allows you to speak your answers, and this saves so much time. So I just went for a walk and I was just recording these 4, 5, 10-minute voice notes back to it, giving loads and loads of detail and context. So it saved a ton of time using the dictation feature. Once I've been through this calibration, the next thing I wanted to do was establish an engagement structure, an engagement cadence, like how I was going to meet with this thing, how often I was going to talk to it, and what sort of style I wanted it to use. So I gave it a prompt, something along the lines of this: I'd like to plan with you an engagement cadence. Please ask me about my weekly schedule and let's discuss how we can structure our sessions to fit around it. So again, I'm just answering the questions, talking about when I would like to talk to this thing. It asked me a whole bunch of follow-up questions about my energy levels and when I'm feeling most strategic. From there, it suggested that it helps me with my weekly planning on a Sunday night, my daily planning every morning, and a sort of after-action review at the end of each day. That seemed pretty good to me. So at that point, the calibration is done. At this point, this chat was pretty long, so I actually didn't want to continue the chat because Claude's performance gets worse once you get into a really long chat. So what I did instead is copy all of this initial calibration chat and put it into the project knowledge. And this is really useful because it means any future chats you have will reference this project knowledge. So any future chats you have will understand all of the background, all of the stuff you've already talked about, but also the engagement cadence. So how often you want to talk to this thing, the structure of any meetings that you've already decided. This is just a demo, so I haven't got all of the copy, but this was a huge amount of information. This was like 2 hours of conversation. So I click on add content and that is now added to my project knowledge, and it means that any other chats I have with it, it knows all of the stuff about me. So my personal coach is now calibrated. It understands me. We've designed a review cadence together. And now every week I can start a new chat. I can feed it my week plan, my goals for the week. It already knows all of the background and stuff about what I want to achieve, and it's going to hold me accountable according to the engagement cadence that we've already designed. Hope that's useful.